Hey, Algebra 2 Honors students and parents, welcome. My name is Mrs. Alday. I have been in the teaching profession for about 24 years, and I have been here at Childs High School. This is my 7th year here. So I just wanted to welcome you, and I'm glad to have your student in my class. Just going to give you a little rundown of kind of how things work. When your student comes into my room on 4th period, they come in, they sanitize their hands. I have sanitizer provided. They sign in, and then I have the desk already sprayed down, and they wipe them down. So they come in sanitized. When they come in, they pretty much start getting ready for the day. So we're going to start with, I just want to tell you a little bit more about my class and kind of how it runs. So I'm going to close me out right here for a minute, and then I want to show you this is how a student goes into the system. These first 4 tabs are the most important. The Canvas is where pretty much everything's happening this year. The Focus is where they want to go for their real grade, their updated grade with the right points and everything. Office 365 is where they're going to want to send emails. So the best way for you to get in touch with me is through my school email, and that's alldayn@leonschools.net. Now, Allday only has one L. That's ALDAYN at leonschools.net. That's the first thing I check, and I check it all throughout the day. I also want your student to be signed up for a remind text. That was actually a homework assignment that I gave. That way, if something changes or if I need to tell them something really important, I can shoot all of my classes the same text message, and I do not see your student number and they do not see mine. But I can let them know, hey, bring this tomorrow, bring graph paper tomorrow. All right, so this is pretty much where they're going to go. You're going to click on the Canvas tile. And what I did is I've already gone into a course. I've gone into my 4th period Algebra 2 Gifted Honors class. And this is a reminder for them to check their announcements. That's the first thing they'll see. And then the tabs on the left, I use the announcements one. This class link is there just if they need it. I use the grades one, the modules one, the Office 365 is there if they need it. My syllabus is sitting there, and then Zoom is there. So the class link and the Office 365 is just for them. I ask my students to check their announcements daily because at the end of the day, what I'll do is I'll go in there and I'll post, hey, this is what we did. We did this lesson and this homework. That way, if they're absent or if they had a dentist appointment where they left early or something, they always have a place they can go back and see what it was we did that day. All right, the syllabus, you can click on it and we'll look at that in a minute. And then Zoom. Zoom is real important for your student to know where it is at and how they can access it. They go to this link if they're in Digital Academy and they click the join button, and the password is 12345. If your student is a brick and mortar student and maybe they're sick and they're not feeling good enough to come to school, but they feel well enough to get into the class, they can go to the Zoom meeting. They won't be counted as present, but at least they won't be missing out on any work. All right, so I'm going to go next to the modules. This is basically where your students been living in my classes in this module. So what the modules show basically is they show you, like this was week 3. It shows that they had an order of operations warm up and it was worth 4 points. Anything indented is worth points and has to be uploaded. All right, the next one is notes, Algebra 1 review notes. So that's just notes. They can click on that and they can see blank notes, and then they can see filled in notes in case they forgot something or they missed out on something. So here's a homework assignment that's worth 10 points, and it's indented. Okay, so you know it's something that has to be uploaded. Here's notes, homework assignment, it's indented, a quiz. Now the quiz is your student has to take it within a certain frame of time while they're in my class. All right, this is this week, week 4. This warm-up they did, I did not ask them to upload it, so I did not grade it. So that's why it's not indented. Notes, here's their homework for both of those sections. They upload that. Notes, here's a warm-up. It says 0 points, so it's not indented, okay? And it's an introduction. And then here's their homework. And then this is their review for Chapter 1 test because they're going to have a test next week. So this just kind of shows you a little bit. This is what we did in our welcome week. All those should have already been in by now, and all of their sets should already been in by now, as well as all of their week 3 assignments. So I've been pretty lenient on due dates for the first 3 weeks, but after that, students need to watch those deadlines. All right, I have the syllabus here. It's going to show up in just a minute, but while we're waiting on that, I'm going to go to the grades tab. If you click on the grades tab, you and your student can find all the assignments on the left. Okay, you can click on it and actually go to it. You can see the due dates in the middle. You can see whether or not they're missing an assignment or if it's late. Then the next tab, now this is a test student, so this isn't a real student. This is the score that they get, and this is how many points it was worth. Now right here, you see this little, it's like a little bubble, like somebody's talking. When you click on that, what's pretty cool about this is this tells you the date and the time that I put a comment. I put a comment right here, awaiting your submission of this assignment. So it's real important that your student goes into the grades in Canvas, goes over here and looks at these little comments to see, hey, did I forget to upload a page? I have some students who only uploaded 5 out of 10 problems, so I can only give them a 50%. Some students forgot to put their work in there. They did the quiz, but they forgot to upload their work. If they don't upload their work, I can't give them credit. So different things like that, your student's going to want to check those comments and then react to them. All right, so I'm going to close out of that. And this is the syllabus. While the syllabus is kind of uploading, I just wanted to make sure that you realize that I do have a class schedule that I pretty much go by in class. This is the class schedule, but I've tweaked it just a little bit from my syllabus. Your student comes in and they do the sanitizing. A lot of the times they'll be logging into the computer. Of course, my DA students are logging into the computer, but my brick and mortar, we're finding out that they need to come in with their cell phones off and put away and their laptops put away until we need it, because it's pulling on the internet, and it's making it where a lot of my things are kind of breaking down, like my TV portrayal of the lesson, or maybe my Zoom, because everything's pulling on the network. So I've asked them to come in with no electronics on until I ask them, if we're going to do something in the computer, then they'll get their computers out. But normally when they come in and they sanitize and they sign in and they sanitize their desk, they get out everything that they need, their homework assignment. There might be a warm-up activity that I have posted for my DA students and my brick and mortar students. They're doing the same warm-up. I take attendance. I go over the previous night's homework. They ask me questions. And right here it says that we go over lesson part 1. And I've kind of skipped this one right here, work on assignments. We've been jumping right into lesson part 2. And because I've been having some technical difficulties, and I have to make sure I teach when those technical difficulties are ironed out. And so here I have work on an assignment part 1. We've been kind of bumping that to the end. After we do our lesson part 2, we wrap up, and if they have time, then they start working on their homework assignment. So they're really doing 2 lessons a day because we're doing the block schedule. All right, so a couple other things I want to bring your attention to is water is allowed in my class, but I'm asking for my students to have a closed top, and I mean a screw-on top that doesn't have any holes or straws in it. But they are welcome to keep water by them. They should have a spiral composition notebook that they're taking notes in. They also need a calculator and different color writing utensils. All these things you can find, you can read all this online in Canvas. Make sure your student is aware that when they are absent, it is their responsibility to make their work up. So I'm going to scroll down here to helpful hints. These are some helpful hints, that might be helpful for your student to just help them be a success in Algebra 2 Honors. I'm going to close out on that. And I'm just going to tell you, I am grateful to have your student in my class. And if there's anything you need, please email me at alldayin@leonschools.net. The next thing I check is Remind. I check my Remind up until 4 o'clock. And then my last source that I check are my Canvas emails. Have a great evening, and thank you for being here.